Good evening, and welcome to the Wednesday evening session, the Globex Futures Market here at Ox Market Trading. Hope you're having a good Wednesday. Doesn't appear to be a lot of people here yet, according to the metrics. Network error, click here to reload player. And let's see. Haven't really looked much at the markets yet this evening, so we'll look at them now. Copper, my favorite, started off with an uptrend, but now it's looking like it's heading down. I haven't even adjusted the highs from yesterday on the S&P 500, which, yesterday was a wild ride in the indices. Opened the day about 43.38 or so there, went all the way down to 42.74. So that's 38, 26, 62 points, which is over $3,000 a contract drop. And then went all the way from this low up to high, which occurred right before close, about 56, almost another 100 points back up. So that was an impressive swing. Getting a lot of quick notifications here, so let's check those. We have the Nasdaq curling, we have the S&P curling, gold. I've been doing a lot of non-trading work today, so I didn't adjust a lot of these lines and stuff, so you have to bear with me. And let me bring up the right, there we go. See, gold also trended down from the open yesterday at about 1765, all the way down to 1745. So it was a slow grind down, about $1,500, 150 ticks, and then slowly grinded back up, hitting a high. Oh, the high was actually right before the close there of 1765. So $1,500 down, $2,000 up if you're going by cost of contract. And there's lots of swings in between. You see this huge pullback, if you want to call it that. Big bam breakdown. So been a nice play there. But you can see how, as you're going down, gives you various entry points along the way. Or if you're getting in and out, getting out before the pullback and getting back in with, or some people will start with one lot, and then once it hits the SMA line and goes back down, they'll add one and keep adding. Just one way to scale into a trade. I don't do that, at least not yet. I prefer to go in with, if this was me running this trade here all the way from here to here, or trying to, if I stayed in this whole thing, I would have gotten in for one, got three lots, out with one lot at a certain profit target, trailed a stop on one, and just let the next one kind of flow until I definitely saw a reversal pattern. So I might have gotten out with this here because this was a pretty good pullback, and then back in here. So we got gold. Gold's trending up a little bit here. I wasn't paying attention, so I really didn't catch any of these signals. I haven't entered any trades. Yesterday I was up about $200. It's originally up about 275 on a great copper trade, and then gave it back on a few micro ES trades. So now on the gauntlet, if I can find it. $781 in profit. Still have about 4,500 to, no, 3,500 to go. Yeah, a little over 3,500 to go. Getting there. Please feel free to say hello. Ask any questions, statements, comments, whatever. I like to know that I have a live and not dead audience. Dead audiences are no fun. I'm live on both Twitch and YouTube. You can pick your preferred platform. If your preferred platform is Facebook, sorry, I'm not there. Crude oil. Didn't really watch this at all yesterday, so I haven't adjusted anything here. Crude had news come out yesterday. And when it did, it kind of took a tumble. Pretty much took a tumble since the European Open. From 79.76 all the way down to 76.81. It's almost a $3,000 tumble. It's impressive. Bonds. James Bonds. See, bonds basically, they started off down, sideways, and then started grinding up. Kind of a fake out breakout here above the 200 period EMA, which if you're scalping, you could have got 6 or 7 ticks before this pullback. It pulled back down here, and that's where it exhausted, and it went up most of the rest of the day. It's a good move. Once it got above the SMA, it went up a full 2 points. It's $2,000. Sideways now. Bonds are usually pretty slow in the evening. Not always. Platinum. I haven't actually started trading yet, but I'm watching it. Platinum had a good run all day yesterday too. I mean, look at Platinum. Platinum just slowly grinded down. Wow, that's a lot of buys and sells. What do I have that trend bot set on? It's 1.6. Let's go to 2.2. I think that'd be cleaner. Yeah, that's much. That looks much better. So it grinded down and then found its bottom and then boom went up. Pulled back and then boom went back up. These have been wild swings that we've seen in the indices and most of the markets. You know, old-time veteran traders say that they didn't see a lot of this volatility or this much movement back in the day. And a lot of movement's good. You know, as long as it's not moving too fast that it becomes hard to trade, which it can at times. Especially, I mean, I have trouble trading the Nasdaq. It just moves so fast. At times the ES moves fast. Today, let me check this copper. See, I follow the 5-minute, but sometimes I think I should follow the 2. Let's just put this before I go back to my talking about today. Short position here. Yeah, that would still have a ways to go. Let's see how far it gets. If you look here, this was wild. It is on the NQ, but the ES basically did the same thing. ES is giving a signal to them. You know, here's these are the same areas on the NQ and the ES. Let me see if I can. No, that's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. Boop, boop. I want these two. Let's see if I get that. Nope. Okay. We won't keep trying that. Anyway, so these are the NQ and the S&P. And you can see nice long trend upwards. And then all of a sudden, it just bottomed. I mean, it just whooshed down. This is 10, well, from the top here at 16 down to hit a low of 79. So that's 21, and that's 37 points. So, it's like $1,850 down. Popped back down, and back up, consolidated. This is a 10-point candle down, $500. Came back up, came back down, sine waved over this period of time, and then finally made its move up and kept just going up the rest, basically with one consolidation period the rest of the day. And NASDAQ did the same thing. But this is all happening. I mean, this is happening fast. You know, I was watching people on Discord try to catch these up and down moves, and it just, you know, I tried to catch a couple moves on the micro on the ES, and that was two of my give back trades. It was just a wild thing watching it go up, down like this, and so huge. I mean, on the NASDAQ, you know, hit a high of 638 and dropped down to 486. So 638, 486, that's 150 points in 5, 10, 15, 20, 20, a little over 20 minutes. I mean, that's $3,000. This is a $3,000 drop. And then it totally regained plus, you know, in the next 20 minutes. So $3,000 down, $3,000 plus back up. If you had somehow gotten lucky, got in and reversed and stuff, that means could have been $6,000 one contract over an hour's time. But you're not going to ever hit the exact tops and bottoms. And this was just moving so fast. It was very hard to try and follow. So right now we're a little bit slow. Check out the Russell. Move its lines. Yesterday's highs was here. Yesterday's lows was here. Okay, I moved the Russell's lines. Russell wasn't as wild during that time. It kind of did this and then went down, and this is still very choppy, but would have been hard to trade. But you could have got some scalping out of it based on the calls. It would have been totally wrong here, but so trying to see what the market wants to do now. Seems a bit confused. You can see, you know, copper's kind of just going sideways. I want to start looking at some resistance areas since there's nothing. Ooh, big move on copper. Yeah, at 8 o'clock Eastern time. So we often see a volume spike at 8 o'clock Eastern. ES also has that volume spike. Let's get NQ back in. Focus. You can see if you zoom out, we're on this strong uptrend from about 9 a.m. this morning or 10 a.m. Eastern time this morning, well above the 200 period exponential moving average. Crude oil, slow grind up, snaking up, you could say, the way it goes. So let's draw out some support and resistance. Whoa! Well, let's look at the big green candle. Well, that'll be a nice trade to get into. Let's see if this reverses now. This is way through the bands, that third Bollinger Band. So this should pull back some. I'm not big into trading copper on the sim. But let's bring copper up on the sim. Whoa, looks even more impressive there, doesn't it? Sim. No, that's sim. Let's play a reversal play on this. Sell one market. And we'll see how it does on playing a reversal, trying to see if it bounces off the Bollinger Bands. I don't usually trade like this in the gauntlet, but it's been something I've been wanting to test, so to provide some entertainment here at Ox Market Trading live streams, we'll test some things out. I do not expect, now I just did the normal thing, I don't expect to get 20 ticks of profit off this pullback, if it does pull back, but we'll see how far it goes down, and then we'll close it out. It may not pull back. This might be one of those times it just breaks the band and just continues going. If we look here, it'll tell us how far above the band it is. On this candle right now, we're at 41990, and the top band is 41960. So it's right now 6 ticks above the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. So that's a pretty significant point above. There is a minute and a half left on this 5-minute candle. Oftentimes you'll see the pullback come in the last minute and then continue on the next 5-minute candle. So we'll see if this does reverse, if this is a good band play, or if, I mean, honestly, the band play, I mean, I got in, actually I said the band's at 41960, is that what I said? Yeah, actually, I mean, just by luck, I got in right where the Bollinger Band was, that third band. So if it pulls back below that band, we'll be in profit. You see on the 2-minute chart here, take this out. See on the 2-minute chart, we actually have a good possible reversal candle, long topping wick with a small body in a downward direction. And we are actually now in profit. Only by 1 tick, but it's profit. So keep an eye on this, especially as the next candle forms. We're actually 3 ticks in the profit. Oh, see, big reversal. We're now 5 ticks in the profit. We have 15 seconds on this 5-minute candle. 6 ticks in the profit. Let's see what this does. Okay, a new candle has opened. See if the pullback continues. If not, we'll cut it. I mean, it's sim anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But when you're sim trading, even if you're trying things out, you should manage it like it's an actual trade that matters. because that's how you practice. So you should go in with the mentality of it does matter, even though I just said it doesn't. Because if you go in that mentality that it doesn't matter, then if you try to perform these moves on an actual when you're actually trading that it matters, you don't have that same feeling. You're not used to it. Let's quickly see what all these alerts are. HG. Well, that makes sense. Russell and gold. Gold, Russell. Okay. Now see, this is actually pulling back significant. Wow, I should have took this trade in my regular gauntlet. We're actually up 12 ticks. This trade is going further toward the profit target than I imagined it would. This was a Bollinger Band play off the third band. I gotta add the bands back to my chart and actually remember to save it this time. I actually closed down the chart yesterday, and if you close down the chart without saving it, it takes all your indicators off, and that's frustrating. This is where it appears to be stalling, so we'll give it a little time, see if it continues. If not, we'll cash it out here. We have 2x2 in the bid and ask. Oh, whoa, big pullback. So let's close this trade out. That was a 6-tick winner, so $75. And you can see we can track the performance on the sim as well. Here it is. Blow this up. 6 ticks is a little over 6 minutes and no, a little over 5 minutes in length. 6 ticks is $75. I can show that there. $75 in sim. Sorry, I was answering a question on Discord, on the Earn to Trade Discord about the stream. So, yeah. Okay. Oh, no, that's interesting. See, it did pull back and is now trying to get back to that high that it created earlier with that big run up. Now we are technically, well, we're not. Wait, oops, that's a 2-minute chart. Let's. One. Boop, 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 one. Sorry about that. Going back and forth here between things. Copy link address. Okay. So yeah, copper is now is back above where it wicked out. Where it reached that on that big candle before we caught this reversal. So we actually did a very good trade here, basically scalping this reversal getting out while we were still in profit before it continued its move back up. So now, what I was going to do before the big green candle forms is look at support and resistance levels here. And basically, the next support, I mean, the next resistance level is really the high of yesterday, which occurred about 8 a.m. yesterday morning on Eastern time. He had this big move upwards from about 6:30 to 8, and by big I mean over 200 ticks. This was a strong move up. It was about math. It was over $2,000 per contract move up, and then see, it almost gave it all back, and then it came back, and now it's trying to get back up to where it was. So copper is definitely being almost as volatile as the S&P and the and the NQ has been. Hey, Greg. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for talking since nobody else wants to. So this is our next major resistance point. See if it continues to grind up. The ES and NQ, Russell, and Dow are kind of sideways right now. Gold actually did just give us a sell, but it doesn't look real promising right now. Crude is not much range right now in crude. Hi, JT. Welcome. So let's see if the bonds are doing anything fun. No, bonds are dead right now. So look back on the day, because I really haven't had time to do this yet. I had to focus on making money elsewhere. But let's look at our copper trades from yesterday. Not the trades I took, but all the trades I could have taken based on my entry. I did have them marked out. So let's see. What was our winning percentage yesterday? 1 and 1, 2 to 1, 2 to 2, 3 2, 4 2, 4 3, 5 3, 6 3, 7 3, 7 4, 8 4, 9 4, 9 5, 10 5. And technically I couldn't have done all three of those trades, but they kind of overlap, so I marked them all off. So we'll take off one of these. So I said 10 5, so we'll do 9 and 4. Or 9 and 5. So we're not fudging our stats. You can see here I keep my spreadsheet. I mark off every trade I would take based on my entries. Even if I'm not awake, I just go back through and see what trades I would have taken based on my entries and how they would have done. So let's say that was a 9 to 5 day, which would have resulted in 180 minus 75, 105 ticks. As you can see, so far this week, copper has been performing very well for me based on how my entries would have been. This is 21, 30 wins, 13 losses. Last week was 43 by 24. On my actual gauntlet, I've had 4 green days in a row. Yesterday, I only took one of these copper trades, and I should be taking. That's my part of my problem is I don't take enough trades. I don't trust myself. But slowly working up the gauntlet. Kind of looks like a monster, widening its jaws and sticking out its tongue. Yes, folks, we have chart art. That's what happens when markets are slow. Let's give it an eye. Okay, that was fun. On our daily charts. Oh, I hate the daily chart with these yellow lines, but you can see we have been in a downtrend now. It's trying to, on the daily chart, you see it's pulling back to the 20 SMA. Pulled back here to the 20 SMA, and then we had a 90-point down day, followed by a fairly calm day, and then another 52 points down. And we kind of stayed in this range that we're actually the range that we were in yesterday. We've been in basically the last 5 days. Broken above that now. We'll see if it holds. And we'll see if we can get back above the SMA. Copper's daily chart. Oh, yeah, copper's daily chart looks ugly. Oops. How did I put that line on there? Oops. How did I put that line on there? Oops. This is a recording. Okay, we won't worry about the line. We'll just blow it up. Actually, okay. Stop with the drawing. How annoying. Anyway. I already drew out on the daily charts, major resistance points. Which is cool, yet it really makes the chart look busy. We basically hit a low. Well, a low for the last month on the 21st. And then it's been chopping up and down. Came back up to the SMA, kind of broke down. So it's, it's giving a lot of movement each day. A lot of opportunities to catch upwards or downward swings intraday, which is good. As of right now, it's just kind of boring. I need to find more content to talk about when every market's going sideways. Ever looked at natural gas? Someone else mentioned that to me the other day, and I meant to actually take a look at it, so let me take a gander at it. Remind me of its symbol, please. Or I can just... Thank you. That makes sense. Natural gas, NG, duh. Let's see. Daily chart. Oh, this is the 5-minute chart. Wow, that was a beautiful downward move most of the day yesterday. What's the tick value on natural gas? it here somewhere actually. I thought. There it is. $10. Cool. Excellent. So yeah, I mean, I'll have to look at this more. But this, I like the way this seems to move. It's not real choppy. You get I mean, get good directional movement sideways there, but not horribly so. Not choppy enough to chop you out. Just stay out of that. Yeah, I kind of like this. I'll have to start charting this out on that spreadsheet that I'm doing and see. I want to start charting this and platinum. My only issue with adding natural gas, once you get funded, with Earn to Trade, you get the one, for the live sim, you get one free data feed, and then you got to pay for any others. So I was planning on paying for one at the start with, and I was thinking that was going to be ES and the one with ES and NQ and RTY. But I mean, if this is something that can go along with my metals, because I'm definitely getting the metals. Copper's my thing, and I got gold too. So, but yeah, I'll definitely check this out. So I like the way this looks, at least recent, the recent looking. How's the liquidity on this? Is it as good or close to as good as CL? I guess I could just look at the volume profile and compare. Asking all these questions when I could just, let's see, yesterday volume 200. Oh yeah, that's good liquidity, definitely. 261 compared to, yeah, gold. Stop asking for retention. Yeah, yeah. I mean that's about 60% of crude, but that's definitely good enough for. I mean, that's much better than copper. Copper gets. Let's see, yesterday I only got 47,000, so that's about 1/5 of what natural gas was getting. So yeah, it's plenty liquid. Oh, I agree, absolutely. I'm not trying to be cheap. It's just I don't have a lot of spare money, so at first I need to be cheap until I get a cushion and start bringing the money in from the trades. Once then, I have no problem paying for data feeds. If I can make trades on the various something on each data feed or whatnot, I have no problem with that. I just for now I need to be frugal because my money situation's tight. But I definitely agree. I mean, you know, I have big goals as I build up to. I like the idea of concentrating on a couple different things, two or three, and different assets. Like I mean, I really like the metals, but if like the metals start slowing down or for some reason they be just I like being able to move over to a different asset class, whether it's the equity indexes or energies or whatnot, be able to trade something else if we start seeing more sideways movement or choppy movement on another asset class. So yeah, I mean I want to be diversified without stretching myself too thin. But I'd like to be able to say I can look at anything and be able to at least trade it decently, even if I don't become an expert at every single asset. I still think it's easier to become you know if you compare futures to stocks, I mean, you only have like, I don't know how many futures, but with stocks, you're trying to find the hot stock of the day, and you're trying to pick the one that has news out of like thousands that day. If you're trying to day trade stocks, so compared to that, futures is easier in my opinion. So yeah, I will definitely add this to my watch list and start maybe playing it on sim. In fact, I can add the alert on the 5 minute. 2 minute. Oh, that's gold. Oops. NG. Or Chenbot. Once per bar. There we go. So I definitely appreciate that suggestion, DWT. Definitely be something I'll add to my watch list as I try, and then I'll probably start taking some sim trades on it to see how it works out. See, now copper did break that band again, like I was saying, and has since pulled back on that second band break. So it broke the band here, pulled back, broke it here, and started pulling back next candle. And it's pulled back by 90 down to 20, so it's pulled back by 14 ticks. Now in the 2 minutes, pull back to the SMA line, but I don't know. Things don't respect the SMA line much on the 2 minutes. I definitely prefer to follow the 5 minute for that type of thing. And our monster's looking a little bit more evil. Do I trade Forex? No, I do not. I mean, I've looked at the futures part of Forex, like the like the Euro, 6E, whoops, 6E, 6E, this type, but I don't, their tick values are smaller. They seem more choppier. I mean, yeah, you do get the runs, but you also get the choppiness, and it hasn't been something that I really spent a lot of time on. When I first started doing this, when I was first at Top Step, I literally had like 20 charts laid out on Tradevate, trying to watch everything. All, like 5 or 6 of the foreign currencies and all the indices and 3 of the metals and oil and a whole bunch of stuff. So I had to cut some stuff out. But actual Forex, no, I've never. I don't know. It's just, I don't know why, but it just never really interested me. Maybe it would have if I realized Forex had funding programs like this. But once I found futures and I found the funding programs like Top Step, Earn a Trade, so on and so forth, that and I learned how futures worked, I kind of just fell in love with it. Yeah, 60. I found that I found them hard to trade when I did try to trade them when I was still on Top Step. It seems like it did this kind of thing more right here, where it's up and down these sine wave type movements more than trend one direction or another enough to get a decent amount of ticks out of it. Just like I used to try to trade ag products. I still have I still have soybean oil and corn, which is a running joke on the Earn the Trade Discord about corn. But I still watch these, but they're harder to trade. And in the evenings here, they often have big spreads between bid and ask. So I don't. I mean, I've been looking to see whether or not it's worth trading their open because they have a break here between 7:45 and 8:30 Central, and then the first couple candles are always like pretty wild. So I've been trying to figure out if there's a pattern to that or not. But other than that, I gave those up too. Yeah, motivation. I have noticed that Forex does have funding programs now. Or they did before. I heard about the futures funding before I heard about the forex funding, so I just gravitated to the whole futures idea because I love the idea of getting funded. Because I started off trying to trade stocks, and when you're trying to trade stocks with a little amount of money, and you're having to deal with the PDT rule, or you're having to deal with a cash account where you got to wait for your money to settle, and so you're basically trying to figure out that one best trade of that day that you don't mess it up and then lose one of your PDT trades for the week, or lose the ability to use your cash for 2 days, and it just sucks. Plus, with futures, I really like the fact that you can go long or short easily. So yeah, I just found once I found futures, I forex didn't interest me. And crypto doesn't just seems like the wild wild west. Hello, Speed Fast Hand. Welcome. I don't recognize your name, so hi and welcome. Thank you everyone for joining me. How well do you do with that motivation? Do you enjoy it? And do you get good gains out of it? Awesome, great job. Are you doing your own brokerage account, or are you in some sort of funding program? Oh, we have a buy here on the S&P and the Nasdaq, but we're also at that same level we were at, or we're still below that same level we topped out at a little bit earlier. 71.50, 70. So we're about 6 ticks away from its previous earlier high. So we see the buy signal actually went away on that candle. Again, it came on this candle, And so we still have almost 4.5 minutes on this candle. It did stay on the Nasdaq, so technically this would have been our entry candle, but it's still below yesterday's highs or today's highs. What did I mark that as? Okay, I actually marked today's highs and not yesterday's highs. Either way, we're below the area it hit here, which was 829.75. Currently, we're sitting at 826.50. Yeah, good point about the range. Oh, oh, that's why I'm on the daily chart. Oops. Is that what I want? Yeah, that's what I want. There we go. It's the high. And the low of the day was... Low of the day was... There, it looks like. It's pretty good movement. That's awesome movement. Definitely something to watch. Greg, I didn't know you were into Forex. Okay, Coppers looks like it might be trying to move back up. What's our ES doing? ES has broken that previous high, but is now pulled back again after hitting the third Bollinger Band. Again, for those that are new or never seen me trade before or talk about any of this, I barely ever look at the second Bollinger Band. I believe that's a waste. But I do like to use the third band, as oftentimes that if it hits the third band, it's going to bounce back at least some. Second band, you can see it just can ride up and spend a lot of time there, breaking each time, and it doesn't matter. But the third band, it often respects. So I keep an eye on the third band. More on the 5-minute chart than on the 2-minute chart. So before I enter this trade, on the ES, I want to see it convincingly break that previous high. Right now it's gone there, but hasn't stayed there. We're watching copper here to see if we get a buy signal. Gold is being choppy. Crude is being choppy. Russell also gave a buy signal. That one I missed. That's the one I would have been more likely to take. It has some room before yesterday's high. NG. Well, there's our first signal on NG. What's it doing? Okay, NG's trying to push up here. Just draw out horizontal ray. our earlier high. It's curling up. Let's see if it can break that earlier high or if it double tops and pulls back. Right now, I did a perfect curve off the SMA line. Heard a lot of people that use VWAP. I've plotted VWAP on the charts. Matter of fact, I plotted it to the extreme. If we go to like 4, I actually have 3 sets of VWAP bands on these 2 charts. I haven't looked at them in a while because I've just went back to this, but I did find usefulness in it when I was looking at them. And if I probably studied the VWAP bands and VWAP itself, I probably would find some use in it as well. But I just haven't had the time to really study it, so I just kind of remind myself that it's there at some point in time to look at. Bonds are starting to trend downward. Broken 200 SMA. We are on a sell signal, so that's actually an entry point for me. So since there's nothing else going on the sim account, we're going to take a trade based on that break. Now technically we're 1 candle after the break, but it's sim, so. And actually I don't have an alert set on the SMA. I'm sorry, the EMA line to tell me when it's there, so let's see what happens. Just gonna mark it into this. Actually, yeah, we only have a 1 tick spread, so mark it in. See what it does. Let's see. We have a buy signal on HG copper. We have 33 seconds. Now, I do have a little bit of a hesitation on this. Ooh. Let's zoom out a little bit. Whoa, big zoom out. Only because these bands are tight. But we are above the big move up. Now we hit the bands. Marketing it. You know what? Well, it won't matter now because I forgot to switch from my sim to my Gauntlet account. So we'll watch it here on the sim account. We now have 2 trades open on sim, which isn't helping my Gauntlet any. But hey, at least we got some excitement going for the stream. We are 1 tick in profit on that bond trade that we took just based on the break of the 200 EMA. Now let's see whether or not. See, this was probably a bad trade to take because it did hit the 3rd Bollinger Band. It's pulling back. Now let's see if it's a small pullback to give itself room, start stretching the bands, or if it's a bigger pullback. 4 ticks down from entry. My entry was no, 2010 for it. I got in at 2020, so my entry was 2 ticks higher than the actual open of that candle. Oh, motivation. Excellent. Congratulations. If you haven't already, on the right side of the Beer Money Reddit, there's an MTurk 101 that I wrote. I wrote it like 2 or 3 years ago now, but most of it is still relevant. So if you're brand new, that might give you some help and tips and tricks. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I did ClickWorker UHRS a few years back, but that stuff, just the instructions are so vague, and I kept getting hammered for not doing it right. They would take the hit apps away from me on ClickWorker UHRS, and it just got frustrating. It was good money, but I do so well in MTurk, and this was frustrating me in the work, so I gave up on it. So our two trades that we have open, and I should be watching for alerts too. Oh, there's an alert on NG now. Let's see. I don't see what the alert was. So we have an open trade on, both of these are on Sim, sadly. Open trade on copper, which is up, now down one tick, and up one tick on the Ultra Bond. So that's our two major things going on right now. I'm gonna be gonna be kind of frustrated if copper ends up going to target, because it should have entered on my gauntlet, but copper's pulling back now down 3 ticks on this trade, but we're up 2 ticks on the Ultra Bond. Move those to the side and see if they pick up any steam while we look, make sure we're not missing anything important. So we see this, we did continue to get the sell signal on the ES, but bounce off that previous high from over here, came down, tried again, came back down. So it is definitely struggling to get above this level. And as you can see, the SMA is basically leveled out. Gold and crude just continuing to give us sideways action. So we can let me make this bigger so I can kind of make this oops, smaller. Move that here. Hold on. NG. Sometimes it says it gives me signals, but I don't ever actually see the signals. So we'll move that here for now. You can watch that trade there. We can watch this trade down here and still be able to see any alerts on TradingView. Still 2 ticks in profit on the bonds. Let's see if I can make that any bigger as well. There we go, a little bit bigger. And 2 ticks negative on the copper trade. Yeah, they are. That it's just Click Worker is so frustrating. Or UHRS, whatever. It's just I don't know how anyone succeeds in it long term. It's just, and I read, on my, monthly post, some people that end up making 500 or more dollars on it a month, and I just don't understand. I don't know if I'm missing something. Obviously I haven't tried it. It probably was 2017 and 2018 since I last did anything there. I'm not even sure if I logged into ClickWorker if I'll still have the UHRS qualification or if I'll need to take the test again. But MTurk keeps me pretty busy enough, and hopefully within the next month or so I can leave MTurk behind. Now 3 ticks in the profit on the UB. Actually, meaning to change these over from ticks to currency. Apply. Okay. So we're actually $125 now in profit on the bonds. So that's 4 ticks. And we're $50 at a loss on the Kappa trade. Anyone else out there, please feel free to get in on the conversation on the chat. Feel free to ask any questions, make any statements. If you think I'm a lousy trader, feel free to say that too. Using Restream, and you can probably see that little insignia in the corner, but Restream doesn't ever tell me how many viewers I have right now. Doesn't look like there's a whole bunch of people here though. I gotta keep going to uh, the 2 different pages for YouTube and Twitch to see how many people are actually watching. Yeah, I looked at Palladium. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Too in the past, and I mean, it looked interesting before I saw how little bit of a liquidity it had. So I kind of just dismissed it. I do have platinum up on a chart that I want to start checking out, just because I figure if I'm gonna have metals, I'm also check see what all metals are viable. Uh, Obviously, silver's a very viable one, but that $25 a tick, just a bit scary until I have a bigger buffer in either the gauntlet or once I get funded the live account before I start messing with something $25 a tick. Which is why I also do the bonds only on Sim, because this ultra bond here that we're currently 3 ticks up is 31.25 a tick, and Canadian futures trader, he does very well with these. So I like I like them, but I'm just not willing to risk it yet on accounts that matter. Thank you, Palladium. Okay, I was close, I think. I have the trade management on the bonds be 8 tick profits, 5 or 6 tick stop loss. But I probably, for this time of day, I probably should have shortened it. We'll see where it goes. It is actually, I mean, right now we're 5 ticks in the profit. This will be an excellent trade. $156.25. Another future that, asset that doesn't have a lot of liquidity, but looking at its chart from the past year or a little bit over a year, is lumber. Because of the way lumber prices rose and then started crashing a few months ago, there was some good money to be made there, but it's not real liquid. Not much is happening right now. You're not even getting any alerts, but we are 3 minutes before 9 o'clock on the East Coast. And usually we see a tick up of volume at that on the top of the hour. Some evenings when I do these streams, things are hopping. And sometimes it's just dead. Now, the next stream I do is Friday morning, and non-farm payroll report comes out. So that should be some interesting movement. So, okay, these trades right now we're down 10 ticks on 11 ticks on that copper trade. So I was right that would have been a bad trade to take, and I'm very very glad I took it in the sim account. It's 3 ticks for my stop at my stop. Oh, just filled the stop. So that copper trade would have not worked, and honestly, I should have never even. Oops. I should have never even thought to take that because of the band bounce. We are still 4 ticks in the profit on the UB. I'm going to clear this off the screen now as we watch for some movement on the charts at the 9 o'clock hour. We have formed kind of a M pattern on the 5 minute. Not really too much. I mean, it's a. I'm not sure what you'll call that. I mean, it hasn't come back to the SMA, but we'll see. Let's see what happens here at the top of the hour, which is 22 seconds away. As you can see, the S&P 500 never did break that resistance level there, and neither did Nasdaq. Okay, so top of the hour. Let's see what we have going on, if anything. Copper still heading downward toward the SMA. Gold. Looks like gold might be finally finding a direction. It seems to want to go downward. So far, not really seeing anything exciting here at the top of the hour. But sometimes it happens more like 5 minutes after. I just notice I almost always see a spike in something at this time of night. This exact period of time. I think one of the Asian markets opens at 9. One of the smaller ones, but I don't remember. One day I gotta write all this stuff down. Soybean oil's having a nice night. Looking for something to trade in the Gauntlet account, but I'm not gonna force it. I can always trade in the morning if I need to, or I always have charts up even when I'm working or whatnot. Honestly, I sleep in a recliner not far from my computer, and I actually keep the copper chart up all night. And I will if I have to wake up. If I wake up in the middle of the night for some reason, I will actually look to see what it's doing. I don't ever take a trade, or I haven't ever taken a trade yet, but I will actually look at it. Yes, I am slightly insane. For those of you that didn't know. Thank you, Greg. I knew I had a feeling there was something. Usually if you see a spike at the top of an hour, each day, there's something that opens. By the way, for those of you on Twitch that might be wondering who the heck I'm talking to and not seeing messages, and same for YouTube, I'm using a uh, thing called Restream that I'm not sure you guys can see each other's chats. But Restream puts both Twitch and YouTube into one chat, so I can just look at one screen. But I don't know if if people on YouTube see the people that are talking from Twitch and vice versa. So if you see me talking to somebody and you don't know why I'm answering them because you don't know that I've actually talked to someone, that's why. I haven't actually tested that. Okay. So, okay, thank you, Greg. That's what I was figuring. But so earlier when someone was talking to me about natural gas and stuff, that person was on Twitch. So if that seemed weird that I was just started randomly talking to someone about natural gas that didn't mention anything. Okay, so far that top of the hour was very uneventful. Could be a bit of a boring evening. We have a sell signal now on copper, but we haven't broken that SMA, and that SMA is still pointing upwards. Slight upward trajectory. So we'll see what it does in the next 4.5 minutes. I always say never doubt copper, but I notice more and more that on the 5 minute, things definitely oftentimes respect this SMA line. For those of you on YouTube, please remember to hit the like button just to help the YouTube algorithm to recognize this new channel and start promoting it and stuff through YouTube. Yeah, if you haven't subscribed, please feel free to subscribe as well. Yeah, I was just told once I get to 100 subscribers on YouTube, I can change the URL to be something more friendly than that ugly YouTube URL, regular YouTube URL. So that might help. I've thought about building out a website, but finding the time to do a website. I put up a quick website on Wix when my subreddit got banned for a few days, but it's not really anything. I really need to either find time to put something quality together or find money to hire somebody. I would love to become, a go-to future streamer and be someone that people aren't seeing blow accounts on a regular basis. Not mentioning any names there, but I think it'd be great because the futures market on YouTube and on streams and overall it just is underrepresented. You don't see you see forex content, you see stock content, and you even see crypto content, but futures content is hard to find. I struggled to find futures content when I first was starting to try to learn about futures, and even almost all videos that are about indicators and stuff um, never mention futures. That sell signal went away on copper for now, so we'll keep an eye on it. We have the equities trending downward, or the indices trending downward. So, and I really like futures. I'd love to see futures become more popular. I think it's just a easier market to trade compared to trying to figure out what the hot stock of the day is and day trading and jumping around. I mean, day trading stocks obviously is lucrative for some people, but day trade, the, most stocks are hot for a day or two if when news comes out or a good earnings report or whatnot. So you never really learn how it trades. You're just jumping from stock to stock, and that can get you're constantly chasing the news, and oftentimes I used to try and I would get it when I first started trying to day trade stocks. I would get up at 4 in the morning to try and catch any of the news that came out throughout the morning. And oftentimes with the algos that are there to read the news, news comes out at top of the hour, and within 5 seconds, something shoots up 50%, and you're already behind the move. You just can't move that fast. And we see that at futures too, when a major news like FOMC meeting minutes come out. But for the most part, there's so much. You can get to know even several assets and see how they trade and get to know them, and you can trade them long or short, and you don't need to try and just catch them when they're moving on news. So we do have a choppy downtrend. Oh, excuse me, on gold. Remember the one thing that I don't like about natural gas? NG is so close to NQ. I need to NQ, that I have to try and make sure I keep them straight when I see an alert. Yeah, this 9 o'clock hour did not produce anything really exciting. I swear, it's like, hey, he's streaming. Let's make it a boring night. I could have got in probably. Let's see how far that. Yeah, this was moving so small that I could have got in on this candle on the signal. I think. Let's plot it out since we have nothing better to do right now. 1910. The 1910 candle was here. Wait, no, that can't be right. Is that right? Yeah, I guess that's right. Yeah, I would have never got into there because we already had a 2 minute candle that was doing that, but let's just say I did because I was feeling foolish. Actually, that's looking like it would have been a good trade. Would have been up 11 ticks on that trade. So that would have been a good entry, even though I would have never entered there. I would have waited for the sell signal right here. That's honestly, that's the entry I would have took right here, because this was already bouncing up. So this would have been my entry off of this sell signal here, which means we're 9 ticks up. Current trade volume on copper, do you mean daily or like the current 5 minute candle? The last candle we had a total of 67 volume. Right now it's not real liquid. You know, it's anywhere between 115 or so down to about 50 each. Yeah, 132, 47. Yeah, this candle saw 404. This big move up here which was at the 8 o'clock hour. But daily volume overall, we see about 47, somewhere between 40 and 50,000 moves. Some days up to 70,000, 85,000 here. Back in July, we saw 106,000. Definitely moves more. I mean, has, you know, looks like your volume starts picking up. How if I kept that open? That candle had 1,000 here. That was last night. Then slowed back down. You start seeing the volume pick up when Europe opens. 200, 300, 400 at times. And then early morning US, you start seeing 500,000 per 5 minute candle. US Open yesterday only had 523 on it. So that was a small amount per the Open. So that is one thing I'm interested in, to see if it trades any different um, when I'm not on a sim account. If it's get more slippage or harder to get filled. I mean, I almost always use market orders, so I shouldn't have trouble getting filled, but on a market order. But I might get more slippage than what I'm used to on the sim account. need to set up my charts better this weekend. I guess I'll put crude and natural gas together on one 4-pane window, and I'll move platinum over with gold. Oh, you know what? I forgot we had a trade on the bonds going. Never forget your trades, people. Hey, look at this trade. We are $187.50 up. 6 ticks. Is that, Greg, is that inventories tomorrow? Or I'll definitely be sim trading NG before I try it in the gauntlet. Oh, big pullback now on these bonds. So probably should have got out at that 5 tick winner, but we'll see if this is a big pullback or if it's a temporary pullback, or if I don't have any trade management on this. Cool. Is okay. So that's every Thursday. Tomorrow's Thursday. Yeah, every Thursday. Okay, I'll have to remember. I'm gonna have to set up a calendar at some point in time to remember all these things. Greg, what source do you use for your economic news? Cool. I'll take a look. Never thought I'd see the day where I really cared about natural gas inventories, but I do. Let's check, see whether or not anything else is doing anything fun. It's interesting how, you see the NASDAQ here. Did I hit the 2 minute? I hit the 2 minute. 5 minute. Thank you. The NASDAQ is pretty much, it's doing this bounce off the band, bounce off the SMA, bounce off resistance, but it's not going much ways either way. Cool. I'll check them both out. I don't need anything too in depth. I think. I mean, not gonna worry about like other countries doing stuff or whatever. Too much analysis starts getting it frozen. I'll see. Somehow I totally missed this. We did break the SMA of copper here. So let's plot that, even though if I only missed it. Would have got in on this candle here at 10 after 9. Right there. 15 tick stop loss. This is something else I need to get better at. You know, I just run the same trade management, same, you know, the amount of ticks, no matter what the situation is. I mean, I do have certain levels for certain times of the day, but there could be some, you know, times that this should be smaller, you know, adjusting for the way the market's moving. I've been watching some videos on the ATR indicator, but I haven't started trying to apply it yet. We're still up 3 ticks on the bond trade. I don't know what it's going to do. It seems like it looks like it might be trying to curl back up to the SMA line. Sorry about that. Hit the mic with my finger. Gold is 3 ticks from my profit target if I had taken that trade. A lot of what ifs in my trading. Still fighting that good fight against resistance. What's the Russell doing? Russell's kind of doing the same thing. Same, you know, hit that resistance points over here. I want to hit these highs over here. And can't make it past it. Soybeans going sideways. Everything's going sideways. There's like nothing exciting going on tonight at all. This used to be how Sunday nights were. Sunday nights have been a little bit exciting at least. So let's plot out natural gas. I have no idea. Let me see something here. Let's bring up our futures calculator. Natural gas. Bullish. So let's see. From here, 5.783. To here, 5.816. 816. One contract. Calculate. 330 bucks. Really? Wow. That's nice. That doesn't look like that big of a move. Yeah, I need to get ZB charts plotted out. ZB and UB move the same direction usually, don't they? Don't they move in tandem? I used to have ZB kind of charted out, but forgot to bring it back. I don't refer to the 2-minute chart on the UB much because it doesn't have much to refer to. DWT, I see you doing the Twitch to YouTube switch. Yeah, I do too, honestly. That's why, I mean, the people on Reddit were seem to, for some reason, prefer Twitch more. But I don't know. YouTube's always been seen like it is a place that'll have more traffic overall. There's more trading, a lot more trading stuff on YouTube, and but that said, I think Twitch has a better monetization setup for beginning streamers. So I don't think I mean, I won't qualify for monetization for quite a while on YouTube, but like I have a $25 balance because of the 11 subscriptions so far on Twitch. And I can't get that money until I hit $100. But I think that I haven't even looked into the monetization of YouTube. I didn't really start this to make my money out of it. I never really expected to make money off of it, you know. But see where that goes. What was I doing? Oh yeah, bringing up that UB trade. UB is back to 4 ticks. Maybe in a year I'll have 5,000 subscribers. Be the #1 futures content on the web. Just kidding. I think if I ever saw 5,000 people watching at once, I'll get this deer in the headlines look and be like, oh, what's going on? Everything's sideways. Just sideways. Sideways. Even gold did reach that profit target, and then since went sideways. I mean, it just wicked down to reach that profit target, but that would have been a winning trade. So let's plot out, since we have nothing better to do. We also got this sell signal that I can already see that wouldn't have worked anyway, but I would have never taken that anyway because it took up almost the whole range of the bands and hit the bottom one. So that and we were parallel on the bands. It's about everything was parallel. So I wouldn't have taken that trade. But I might have taken it here when the next sell signal came in on the 2 minutes. So let's plot that. Especially since it immediately reversed. But 12 by 16. About 4 ticks in profit right now. We have gold curling up. NQ still doing nothing. ES 2-minute, a buy signal in the 2-minute. We are in a buy on the 5, but again, I'm not doing anything until it breaks this former high. Same with NQ. Are there any trades out there? See, actually, I did miss this signal that I would have taken on natural gas. Although I don't know, I haven't figured out what the plot, what my stop loss and profit target should be on it. So let's play with it. Long position would have been here. Let's do, let's try 20 by 15. See what that does. That's how I basically have done all my profit target stop loss levels. I'm just kind of figured out what seemed to work by looking at the prior price action. Looks like UB's trending back down. Let's bring up our only current action. Yeah, UB is now 6 ticks in the profit. I have the profit target of 8. I believe at 8 it moves the trailing stop up to 5. So 3 behind. And then I let it go from there. What's our alert? Oh. Okay. We do have, this is a 11 tick candle upwards on copper. Looks like this sell here was definitely a fake out. That's this plot here. And it's, again, good I didn't take this trade because it's 1 tick from hitting the stop loss. We might soon see a buy on now on copper. Copper is usually not this up and down, but I mean, I guess in the scheme of things, it's really not that up and down. But now we have this top here, which is 10 ticks from its current. Right there is the buy signal, but it went away. So we have 4 minutes to see if that stays. It would have stopped out this trade. So now I got this decision on copper. It's 8 ticks away from that prior high. We have bands coming down, meeting it. This band probably on the next candle is probably going to be at that resistance point. And it's this candle's still going up. The buy signal would have came here. That would make much better, made a much easier decision. So right now, it's 6 ticks from that resistance point. Technically, we are still in this uptrend. This SMA line never really wavered. So we have like conflicting signals basically. You have an uptrend here, bands contracting, resistance point. What's a guy to do? The guy still has 2 minutes to decide. The guy is going to check on the UB trade. That's still stuck at 6 ticks. And the guy is going to bring up his chart. Nope, wrong chart. No, right chart's over here. And he's going to switch over to the Gauntlet account. While he sits here and stews to figure out what he wants to do. I think may enter this trade just shooting for that resistance. So right now, that'll be a 8 tick win or 6 tick win or somewhere around there. I think I almost always use market orders. I think this time I'm going to use a limit order to buy on the bid. Ooh, big pullback here. And actually, wow, look at that. Buy signal went away. With 13 seconds to go. So I am not going to get... there it comes back. Okay. What the heck? I'm in. I should have limited order like I said I was going to. As I started down 2 ticks. That was a mistake on my part because of the quick decision. But in other news, our UB trade is now $218.75 in the profit. It's 8 ticks, and our trailing stop loss is now 2 ticks behind it. So this trade would have been an awesome trade. While I now languish about being down 4 ticks on this this trade here. That is actually on my Gauntlet account. But we shall see what happens. Oh, there we go. Push up. It's now a tick in the profit. Heading toward this resistance line. Resistance is at 420.35 and it's at 420.30. It's there. It's right there now. Let's see if we can get strength up. We're 5 ticks in the profit, 6 ticks in the profit. It's above the pull back there. So struggling, trying to push through. 7 ticks up now. Let's keep an eye on that. Let's look at next possible resistance If it continues to break through here, it looks like, well, yeah, next resistance is the high of yesterday. So that has over 20 ticks, 25 ticks to run through there. Oh, wow. See, I doubted this trade, but we're already halfway to profit target. See, never doubt copper. 11 ticks up, 12 ticks up. My stop loss has moved to break even. Curl back down to 9 ticks. We're resting. The wick of this band, this candle is resting right against the third band, pushing it up. So we'll have to watch that. If it blows up through that band, it could be a sign of a big quick pullback. 7 ticks in profit right now. It not change this to money, but I can do that. $112.50 in the profit at 9 ticks. It's kind of showing weakness here. It's just right 2 ticks above that prior resistance. So when it's showing weakness right at or near the prior resistance, you gotta watch it for a pullback. We're 2 ticks above. Bid is at the resistance point. The ask is 3 ticks above it. We have a 3 tick spread right now. Trying to give this room to work to see if whether or not it can continue this uptrend. There's a small part of me that wants to just, big pullback. There are now only 3 ticks in the profit. I gotta decide whether I want to move my stop loss back down some to try and give this room to roam. I am gonna move it a couple ticks down away from my entry. Just give it some room to see whether or not it has the oomph to push up, especially with being 30 seconds away, 40 seconds away from the end of this candle. Right now we're 7 ticks in the profit. We are 2 ticks above that former resistance. 10 seconds left on this 5-minute candle. Big pullback as this candle comes to a close. Right now 4 ticks in the profit. We've been as high as 12 ticks in profit on this trade. Pull back. Right at resistance. So support resistance. We'll see. This could definitely be a pullback that stops us out, unless I decide to move it because we did hit that band. I'm going to give it some room. I think it's going to pull back a little bit and then continue going up. So I'm going to move my stop now. We entered at 2010. I'm going to give it 6 ticks. That's a $75 loss if it goes to my stop. Meanwhile, by the way, our Ultra Bond trade on SIM came to a close. Wait, what? Why is it? Oh, that's right. We made a couple of losses. Ultra Bond trade ended up being 0601, a 5 tick winner. So that's $156 on that Ultra Bond trade on the sim. Right now we're just 2 ticks in the profit on this actual copper trade on the gauntlet. Definitely watching this, thinking this is just a slight pullback. One of the issues that I noticed that I did a whole bunch of analysis on this weekend is that I was too quickly allowing my stop loss to move up, not giving the trades room to breathe. And I would be stopping out for a $50 winner, $75 winner, because I'll be trailing my stop, and then the trades would have went to my original profit target for 250. So I was getting, I got like on 2 trades, I got $125 total when I would have got 500. So I'm trying to give this room. We still have 2 minutes on this candle. A lot of times you'll see one big green candle, small red candle, and a big green candle. So that's what I'm hoping we see here. 2 things could happen. We could see this, where, red candle here, then green candle upwards. Or we could see this, where it trails back 4 or 5 candles, then goes back up, trails back, then goes back up. So right now we're 1 tick in profit. And here's where I always, lament. At one point we were up $100, and I was like, should I have taken that there and closed it? I did say I was thinking about just closing at resistance. We are still messing with this resistance point as well. Although technically, our new top was up here at 40, 20, 70. But this area is still providing trouble. So we'll just kind of watch this. Don't seem to be getting many other alerts on anything else, so all eyes on copper. Pull this up a little bit. Wick did come down and hit my entry point. So we'll see. Still got 23 seconds on this candle. So we'll see whether or not next candle is golden or, well, green. Oh, we're now 1 tick negative. So let's see what we do. That candle's closed. Waiting for the next order to fill this to start the next candle. Not a lot of action right now. There's our DOM. Still going wild in the 8NQ. There's our 8NG DOM. There we go. There we go. It's pushing back up. There's some sort of alert sneaking up. Oh, huh? Why are you giving me another alert on copper? I'll ignore you for now. So now we're back to 3 ticks in the profit. Watching the DOM here a bit. I don't know why I watched the DOM. I don't really read it well. Got some orders stacked up here about 2050. Right here's our resistance point. There's nothing really exciting there. But we got double digits in orders at 50, 55, and 60. We have some support here at right at 40, 20, 4.20. Double digit orders on the bid there. So right now with 3 ticks in the profit. Oops. No longer 3 ticks in the profit. Another pullback. If this struggles again, if it comes up again, and it struggles again at this resistance level, the white line on the chart that's above these things here, right here, comes up again, and can't get past it, then I might cut this. We'll see. Volume has slowed down. You can see the DOM's not even really moving much at all. Okay, we're now 2 ticks into the loss, but we still haven't gone below this green candle here. I guess you can actually see it better here, this green candle here. We set our stop. We can actually, yeah, we'll leave our stop there. Anybody that's still with me out there, please feel free to say hi in the chat. Make any comments, questions, statements, insults. Pulling back. Hey, old Linux trucker, how you doing? No, things are going okay. This is the first trade I took on the gauntlet tonight. I took a few sim trades. Won a couple, lost a couple in sim. This is the first gauntlet trade I've taken. Right now it's sitting down 2 ticks as it plays with a resistance point. How are you doing? Doing any trading tonight or sim trading or anything? Right now we're back to right at break even. Bring up trading view on my other screen to see what I'm missing here. It doesn't look like a whole lot. Oh, there we go. Back in the profit by 2 ticks. Oh no, what happened? What'd you do to blow it? Yeah, afternoon liquidity does get hurt. Ooh, nice. Big move up there. We're now back up to 5 ticks in the profit. Yeah, it definitely gets harder after 1. Honestly, once I can trade full time, I think my times to trade would be from evening into the morning and then sleeping during the day. Again, though, that we saw that big move upwards just a minute ago, and it bounced back off that resistance. Part of me is telling me to cut it here for this $25 gain. Although if I cut it here, actually, the bid's on 1 tick lower, so it'll only be a $12.50 gain. But it's trying. You see it's back up to 4 ticks. This is the 4th attempt. And honestly, copper usually eventually gets there. So, oh, see, blown down again. Back down to 25. That's the third time now. Wonder if I should rest in order right here to get out. Right about here. We're about a 4 or 5 tick winner. Good, 2 minutes and 24 seconds on this candle. Just doji candles these last 2 minutes. I'm sorry, last 5 minutes. Last two 5-minute candles. Let's move the DOM. Let's move the DOM. There we go. See if the 2 minutes telling us anything. Oh, there, just. Okay, now we're back down to 1 tick into negative territory. So on the 2 minute, you can see we've pulled back here. Kind of stair stepping down. We had this, the big candle we saw that go through the push up. It keeps pulling back. So 2 minutes kind of showing bearish. Maybe until it hits the SMA line. So the question is how much room do I want to give it? Right now I have it my stop loss set at 419.80. Yeah, I mean, I look at the overnights. Whenever I get up, I chart out what would have happened overnight, or what did happen overnight. As this is pulling back now more, we're 3 ticks loss in the stop loss. We're close to being stopped out. But things at night, overnight, seem to trend more in one direction or the other. Sometimes you get into a choppy range, but I just look at. Sometimes I get up and I see that like copper's moved 80 ticks in one direction, or one night I saw gold moved like 500 ticks downward, and it's like it seems like I missed these big trending moves overnight. And then once the open happens, New York Open, you start getting this chop fest. And then once the chop fest is done, then it just kind of everything goes sideways for the afternoon. And you're scalping you have to scalp a few ticks here and there. So this is definitely, here we go. I mean, it's back to break even. It's like right at the SMA line. The SMA on the 2 minute anyway. SMA here is 41978, which is exactly 2/10 of a tick below my current stop loss. Back in the 1 tick in the profit. This is a slow moving trade. We've been in this trade for about 25 minutes. But there's not much else going on, so maybe we can check. Oh, see, while we were paying attention to copper, the S&P and the Nasdaq did get above those resistance points. Not by a whole heck of a lot, but this is a 5-point candle to finally break through and moved up, and it's kind of gone sideways since it's moved up. So it did get break through that resistance. Not sure where its next resistance might be. Nothing recent. So for now, it's its own resistance again. I can go back longer then, but for now, a wick on that candle is its new resistance. Back to our copper tray. It wicked up. We were back in the profit by tick. Now we're one tick from my stop loss. I gotta quickly decide what I want to do. Seems to want to pull back to the SMA line. I'm gonna let it just decide what it wants to do. Okay, my stop got filled. $75 loss, I believe. Okay? Hi, Mook. Tell me what's confusing, and maybe I can help. That's the wrong thing. That's the right thing. Accounts. So yeah, it's hard to see, but at the yeah, there we go. $75 loss. Not a big deal. We'll see what it does. My guess is I should have gave it room to roam. My guess is it's going to bounce off this SMA line. So we'll see. I got in here on the 2040 candle, which is right here. Oops, wrong direction. And of course, maybe I was wrong. Long position there. Shooting for there. Honestly, though, the mistake I made with this trade is not following what I said to begin with. You know, we did get to this resistance line 3 times, 2 or 3 times, and I should have cut it there, like I originally said about doing that. But honestly, I believed that it was going to go through. I believe, you know, especially when it's just hung there. I thought it was just going to consolidate some and then go up through. So that's why I didn't. But I could have got, 50 or $75 in the profit. And instead, I would have given me a $75 loss instead. Thank you, Linux. I did try to limit it to a small loss. Don't got anything going on right now, Mook, so if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. I'll be happy to try and answer, and there's a couple other people here in the chat that can possibly help as well. And as you can see, if I had kept the stop loss at its full 15 ticks, we're just about at that level. That would have stopped me out. And we also got a signal that I ignored on natural gas. We tried let's see, when did this signal come in? 2055, somewhere there. 5.795. I think we did a 20 by 15. Let's see how that goes. This is our new resistance point on copper. Copper is now sent a sell signal. Now, this is where, I mean, I love copper, and I always say never doubt copper. But it sent me two basically false signals in a row here. You know, so because we have another, you know, it created a resistance point here, below this pullback, and then it created another resistance point basically here. So that's 15 ticks between those two resistance points, and only 7 ticks between the current level and the first one. By the way, Mook, if you're still here, do not be upset or ashamed or frustrated if you feel this is confusing. At first, it can feel very confusing. Just allow people to help. You know, I was very confused as I was stupid enough to rush in and start trading when I was still in the confused state because I just thought I could power through. You know, the interesting thing here, I don't draw a lot of trend lines, but we can see that we are making higher highs with each move up. We're making higher highs, and let's see, are we making higher lows? Kind of making higher lows. I'm not sure if this is the low of this candle, but higher lows. So we're in this channel here, basically. So we'll see whether or not it respects the channel. It does. This might be the bounce off the channel and heads back up. Should be a decent play. I'm not going to play it because it's not part of my strategy yet. I haven't really, because I don't draw trend lines. But this one's kind of an obvious one. I saw this. Each time it's making a slightly higher high. It's just not really getting a lot of oomph on the upward trend. Gold definitely did start its downward trend. This was the start of its downward trend. It kind of went sideways for a bit, but I mean, it's now down. It's not like on fire, but that's $300. Crude broke its highs its lows from yesterday. Two big wicks down, 300. Those two 5-minute wick candles, $300. Pulling back up to yesterday's highs. Now there's like nothing going on at all. Well, I mean, and by nothing, I mean the S&P's moving up. Looks like we might have an upward trend. Oh, big move out there on the S&P actually, and the Nasdaq. So now, I mean, let's find out where our last resistance is that was this high. Way back here, 30th. So it looks like our next major resistance, let's see, right here's our price action. So our next major resistance, it's like right around, I mean, this is the tip of that move. 43.89, so we're 8 points from the high from September 30th. And that, and before that, we have to go all the way back to the 28th. All the way back, I say, like it was months ago. And it looks like we have this high right here at, excuse me, about 44.10. Then to plot one more out in case we have a really bullish day here. It's like right about there at 44.43. That would be an amazingly bullish day. That's 60 points away. And to plot out one more, way back here, again way, on the 27th, 44.72. So those are the major resistance levels that we're looking for if we can keep gapping up. This one, go. If nothing exciting happens, we'll probably wrap up this stream in the next 15 minutes or so. But if something exciting happens, then we'll go longer. But right now, there's like nothing going on. Gold did break below the 200 period SMA. It looks like it's continuing its move downward. Crude's hugging its lows from yesterday, broke them, and now is trying to get back above them. Bonds. This was our exit from that trade that we did on Sim. And it's kind of bounced back now. Still below the SMA line. Natty Gas. Performing well here on this slight downtrend. Definite uptrends on the S&P and the Nasdaq and the Russell. Beans has come back to the SMA line. Corn is falling. Oh. And as for the day so far, remember the trading day starts at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We're down $75 on the Gauntlet account and up $43.75 on the Sim account. Found out today that on the Sim account that Ninja Trader gives you, see I have two Sim accounts here. One that comes with the Gauntlet and one comes with Ninja Trader. But I found out you can go wild on the Sim one, the one Ninja Trader gives you. You can enter in like 200 contracts or 500 contracts. Someone did like 200, like $2 million profit today on their Sim account just by going wild. Be interesting to see whether or not this is one of those nights that gold trends downward all night. Yeah, it seems so much easier in Sim, doesn't it? Oh, I forgot I still had this the euro. Let's close that down. Thank you to those who have newly subscribed tonight. I see we're up to 18 subscribers, which is pretty darn good considering, I just launched the YouTube yesterday morning. 120 subscribers on Twitch. Hey, Mook Man, you never said anything else. Are you still here? Don't be afraid to ask questions. Or if you're from Reddit, send me a message on Reddit. I can help you. We can help you. I want to. If you're interested in this, do not give up on it just because it seems confusing now. I guarantee you. I can't guarantee you're going to be successful. I can't ever say that to anybody. I do believe, though, in my heart, that anyone that's willing to put in the time and the effort can learn to trade and understand how trading works and, you know, just don't give up yet. You know, tell me what is confusing you or, you know, overwhelming you or whatever's going on. believe I've seen your name before, so I'll look for you to see if I've seen you on Reddit and try and send you a message there. Hey, see you, DWT. Have a good night. Next stream is Friday morning, if you're available. Then probably Sunday evening. So it doesn't look like there's going to be anything else exciting. Ended up being a pretty boring night. We did get a couple good trades in on the sim. One slightly losing trade on the gauntlet. That's okay. Have a good night. I'm going to wrap up here, I guess, because I'm not sure there's anyone else even here. And Friday morning, 7:30 Eastern Time, next stream. Well, thank everyone for joining me, and have a good evening. Bye.